Hello, welcome to the Alone Show. I'm your host, John Alone. In this episode, don't have regulars, because reasons, as always. As for our guest, he's from Florida, and he is a scalar energy researcher. Well, based in Florida, of course. And there's so much more we can get into, actually. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Thomas Palladino.
Hi, pleasure. Thanks for the invite to speak to your audience.
You're welcome. So, how's life?
It's great. It's what I make of it. Yeah, everything's fine. Thank you.
Welcome. So, and have you been up to much recently?
Uh, a lot of work, research. I always research. My day is always being consumed with research.
Oh, okay. Very good. So, what is scalar energy exactly?
Yeah. I've made a career at this science of scalar energy. So let me explain. I work with energy instruments, scalar energy instruments. We're able to access a person through the scalar energy dimension. It's not electricity. And in so doing, we can provide quantum health. So scalar energy is an energy dimension. It's the dimension that's afforded by the sun and the stars. And I work with people in this energy dimension exclusively through their phone.
Hmm,
Yeah,
interesting. And how long have you been working on that for?
that's been about that's 50 years now. It's been my life goal. Um, this is something that I've always cherished. 50 years now, and I've really had great success with this on account of the fact that the instruments that I've developed allow me to control that spectrum of energy.
Interesting.
So
And
I'll put this into
go on.
context. A scalar energy instrument not only allows me to control the energy from the sun and the stars, but it's intelligence, it's information. So I'm not controlling a stream of electrons. I'm controlling intelligence, the consciousness perhaps of the universe. Now, what does that mean to your audience? I can access consciousness, the intelligence of the universe. And if I can do that, I can do incredible things with this instrument of consciousness.
Oh, okay. That's a lot to take in.
Yes. Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right.
So, in what way is this energy like generated in more depth?
Yeah, that's a good point. So I believe the energy originates from the sun and the stars. I believe it's a first principle, a first cause. Hence, God, the creator, is behind this energy. Now, if that's true and accurate, then I have accessed, if you will, the consciousness of the universe, of the life force energy of the universe. And in and of itself, that energy should allow me to enter into a different paradigm, a different, if you will, not only a different energy dimension, but a different uh, spatial and temporal setting. I can transcend time and space with this instrument. That's my comment.
All right then. And could this be implemented like anywhere in the world?
Yes, that's a good point. So with my instrument, again, I work with people by way of their photograph. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the instrument does not work one-on-one with people. It works through force fields. It works with photographs of, of a force field. And in so doing, any photograph will allow me to access a person's quantum uh, domain or their quantum character by way of a force field. So, to put this in perspective, scalar energy is a different dimension. It's not electricity or magnetism, it's a force field. And I can access a person either directly or by way of their photograph or even by a hair sample. Hence, this energy calls to mind, if you will, consciousness. It calls to mind a holographic universe. That's what I'm working with. The universe is holographic.
Sweet. I'm starting to get it now.
You've seen the Star Trek movie in which somebody can materialize and dematerialize. Is that possible? Well, in a quantum field, it is because it's all information. So if this is futuristic, well, sure it is, but it's made possible by way of a scalar energy instrument or an instrument that can access consciousness. This is the key to my research. This has always been the key. In other words, there's another energy spectrum besides electricity and magnetism. I am working in the other energy spectrum. I'm working in the spectrum of consciousness or the holographic universe.
Nice, nice. And how many years do you think it will be until scalar energy will become a prominent energy generate a source of energy
Yeah,
alongside wind, solar, hydro, whatever power exists?
that's a great question. I would hope in the next 10 years, I think that the path to market will be much simpler than that of electricity or wind or nuclear, is that there is no infrastructure that's needed. You do not need an infrastructure with this energy. In other words, the universe is the infrastructure. You don't need telephone wires. You don't need substations. What's obsolete are cell phone towers. You don't need satellites. You simply need to access this information. So the infrastructure pre-exists. I want to make sense. The infrastructure that I'm working with is simply the universe. It's a free infrastructure.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
a free infrastructure. That's interesting.
It makes it easy, right? You don't have to
Yeah, absolutely.
you don't have to put in place low Earth orbiting satellites. You don't have to erect towers. You don't have to erect, if you will, substations and relay stations. This is easy.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, thank you. It
You're
is.
welcome. Yeah.
Now I'm
Is
going
it?
back 100 years. Nikola Tesla developed these instruments, scalar energy instruments, or consciousness instruments, or instruments that work with the non-physical intelligence of the universe. Now, what was Tesla onto? Well, it's free energy. That's certain, but it's also very peculiar that this energy can be accessed anywhere in the universe. So it doesn't matter where I live, I can access this energy. It doesn't matter what time of the day. It's from the sun and the stars. So it's free energy with a free infrastructure, to make that very clear to your audience. Now, doesn't that sound like the ideal energy? Free energy from the sun and the stars that doesn't need an infrastructure, that doesn't leave a carbon footprint.
Yeah, that's like a very good idea. What I'm concerned is, why hasn't this been implemented sooner? Why now are we looking into it and actually implementing this? Are you still there?
I can hear you now. We had a bad connection. Sorry.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. The question I have is, why now are we doing the research to implement this infrastructure?
Yeah, we should have done it a long time ago. What do you think? If
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
What I want to know is, why now? Why haven't this been done sooner?
we should have listened to Tesla. I can't answer that question. I can only speak for myself. I've made a career out of this. But if this is free energy with a free infrastructure and it leaves no carbon footprint, what's the problem? Well, I think this type of technology will intimidate the powers that be. In other words, free energy, it, that's a threat to those with money and power. And that's the only answer that I can give you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've realized this for years that this is certainly the way forward, and it will benefit a lot of people. But I know that some people in power want like some control over the people. That's why I believe this was not implemented sooner. Because of course, if you get free energy, then you get energy for life. It
Yes,
just makes perfect sense.
yes, it does make perfect sense. And your question is very pertinent. Why aren't we doing this? Why haven't we done this before? Well, Tesla tried to introduce this to mankind, but Tesla, over 100 years ago, he was stopped. People stood in his way. What do I mean by that? Powerful forces, evil people stood in his way because many people at that time knew that this would solve the energy crisis. Well, there are people out there who do not want to solve the energy crisis. They want to make money off of us.
Yes, absolutely. Could have said it better myself.
It's a shame because mankind now suffers from this. Everybody could benefit from this type of technology. That's not the case.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
I see myself introducing this to a wider population of people, and I see this technology really taking off. It's almost by default that the world will accept this. And what do I mean by that? There's no other option. Okay. So
Yeah.
what am I getting at? Well, there's limits to fossil fuels. There's limit to nuclear. A lot of people are against nuclear. There's limit to fracking. Many people don't believe in fracking. It just goes on and on. There's so many point and counterpoint viewpoints here. What's the point with scalar energy? It's free. It's from the sun and the star. It's always existed. It doesn't harm anybody. It's easy in application, if you will, and you simply tap into the infrastructure, the free infrastructure that pre-exists. So many things going for it. Why aren't we using this? We're going to. This will change the way we live. Eventually. Eventually.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting there.
Yes, we all are. What should they teach in high school, but they don't?
Mm. I wish Nikola Tesla, look at his, I don't know, his 100 patents and take him very seriously. How many people out there have 400 to 500 inventions or 400 to 500 patents? It was Tesla who gave us the modern day age. And we have to revisit his instruments. We have to revisit his technology, especially later in life. He was working with Tesla technology or radiant energy or scalar energy. That really is a crowning jewel in his work. We need to teach Nikola Tesla in the halls of academia. We need Nikola Tesla to be his work to be promulgated. And that day is coming. I think eventually we're going to rediscover Tesla.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, we have to. It's the only way.
Yeah, we've dug ourselves into a hole. We've painted ourselves into a corner. Um, we need answers, and the existing, if you will, paradigm doesn't work. We need new answers.
Yes,
Yep,
absolutely.
thank you. We're
Welcome.
getting there. Yep, we're
Yes,
getting
we are. Yes.
there.
Which recent news story have you found most interesting?
In reference to my work the news in general today?
In general, anything.
Okay. Well, it's with great sadness are we looking at this war that's erupting now in Israel, Syria, um, Gaza Strip, in the Mid East. We pray that this doesn't take off and expand, but it's a terrible situation.
Yes, of course. Especially then as the lives have been lost. That's my main concern.
Yeah,
I'm not taking sides in this whatsoever. It's the innocent lives that's been lost that's the concern.
of course, it's always that way, and I hope they can stop this quickly. This could really mushroom in the next few weeks. I don't hope that.
Yeah. Hopefully things will get better.
Yes, we have to pray. Very serious situation as we speak. For those who are going to be listening to this interview in the future, we're speaking during the month of October 2023, and there is now a war going on between, you might say, Israel and Hamas, or Israel and other countries. It's hard to define who the sides are because it's really skewed with this act of terrorism. We don't know.
Yeah. Information is all over the place. It's complex, it's complicated. Not
Yeah,
many people know the history, so it's hard to understand what's going on without.
you're right. I know. Who are the sides? Who are the two or three? Maybe there's three sides to this war. I don't know. It's very sad though. It's the loss of life already is terrible.
Yes, of course.
We'll pray for that.
Yes. If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance at winning a medal for?
Oh my goodness. I'm past my prime. I'm in my 60s. You stumped me. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Um, you've stumped me. Maybe something that doesn't involve running, because I can't. I'm not fast anymore. I used to be fast as a kid. Sorry, I'm stumped.
Fair enough. It happens sometimes, but yeah,
That's a great question. I'll think about that. Someday I'll
yeah.
give you an answer.
Oh yes, that'll be the day. What is something popular now, but in 5 years, everyone will look back on and be embarrassed they liked it?
Mm, well, I would hope that what's so popular today is so many social media videos and so much social media that really much of it is unnecessary and much of it is a waste of time. I think we're in an information age. Yes, I realize that, but we really have to now filter our information. Now, you could spend your entire life watching TV or watching Facebook or Twitter. Please don't do that. You have to monitor the amount of time that you spend on that. So I would say in the future, uh, programming, any type of social media programming or television program, this needs to be filtered.
Hmm, okay, I can see that. Would you rather not be able to open closed doors or not be able to close open doors?
I want the doors always open, so I would rather not be able to close doors. I want the doors always open. That's a good
Yes,
question. Yeah, that's a great
absolutely.
question. Yeah, I don't want to close. I don't want closed doors. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
absolutely. What happens in real life but rarely gets portrayed in movies?
There's a lot of people, heroic people, a lot of incredible people out there, but they go unnoticed. And in this day and age, sadly, we have a lot of attraction to what I would consider to be pabulum nonsense. We have to get back to basics. And there are many educators out there that need to be promoted. There are many good people out there who are doing volunteer work, or people in spiritually inclined people, or environmentalists, or religious people, and they are the real heroes of today. They always have been. And so I would like to see a shift, less importance being given to celebrities such as entertainers and athletes, and a greater credence and a greater influence upon others, such as, again, parents, educators, teachers, the religious, volunteers. We have our priorities screwed up. We
Hmm,
don't have our heads on in the right place. We have to cherish those people who make this a special place to live.
yes, absolutely. What item has changed your life forever?
Item,
Yeah,
an actual.
yes, of course.
I would say the computer has changed my life for the better. And the reason I gravitate to that because I'm on the computer so much, but I am making that my useful tool. I want to make this very clear. I don't use my computer to play video.
And be back. Hopefully. If not, that is all for this episode. I don't want it to be, but that is all, I guess. And
I don't use my computer for what I would consider to be unproductive. I've got, the computer is a great tool for me, and it allows me to achieve so many things. It's a great tool.
nice, nice. If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
Tom Palladino, humanitarian and researcher.
Sounds good. I like it. What is the best way to start the morning?
I start the morning with a prayer. I unite myself with God. I with the prayer, and it sets the tone for the day because it keeps me focused. So I start my day with a prayer.
That's nice. Have you heard of a drink called banana friche?
No,
That's alright, I get that a lot.
no, I haven't.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I think right where I'm at right now in Florida. I love Florida. I love the people here. They're really nice people. I like Florida. So I'm happy where I'm living in Florida.
Nice, nice.
Mhm.
Who was the last person you've talked to?
My wife, just a while back, my wife. And I prefer to speak with her. My wife. I've got a great wife.
Nice, nice. If you have to choose between skydiving, bungee jumping, or scuba diving, which one would you choose?
Scuba. I think it's safer.
Okay, sounds good.
That's a good question.
Yes. Would you rather sleep on the wall or sleep on the ceiling?
Well, if the wall is comfortable and safe, I'll sleep on the wall. These are great questions.
Yes, they sure are. If you have to lose one of your senses,
Mm,
which of your senses would you choose to lose?
Probably the sense of smell. That's probably I could do without that, but hearing or sight, no.
All right, I can agree to that kind of. What kind of music do you often listen to?
I really prefer classical or sometimes uh, acoustic guitar, Spanish guitar. But later in life, here, I've I no longer listen to hard music. I did as a kid, no longer.
Okay. If you could travel back in time, what decade would you want to live in?
I would like to live actually during the time of Christ. I would have loved to have met him and listened to him. So that's my answer. If I could travel back in time when Christ was on earth,
Nice. That's great. Have you ever thought about living off the grid?
I have, and in many ways, with my invention, scalar energy, I'm trying to do that. Now, I have to do that piecemeal, step by step, but there's many things that I think with my invention I can eventually make obsolete or if you will, unnecessary. Um, have I ever lived off the grid completely? No. But do I envision that? Yes, I do. And I would like to. I'm trying to move in that direction to answer your question.
Okay,
Yep.
cool, cool. What fictional item do you wish you owned in real life?
What type of item? What did you?
Fictional.
Fictional item. Oh, an anti gravity machine. Why not?
Good point. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? The never-ending question.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, exactly. What's your favorite type of day?
A day where I can achieve results, a day where I can see performance. I've had a good day, by the way. Today would be one of those days. Why do I say that? Well, I want to be able to have a success in life. I want to be able to contribute to the world. How do I contribute? Through my research. Did I have a good day today? Yes, I had an excellent day today. I had a day of success.
Hmm, interesting. I never thought of it that way, I guess.
Yeah, I want to contribute to society, contribute by being successful with my research. My research. What can I give back to society? My research.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Which pizza topping do you most relate to?
Probably cheese. I enjoy cheese.
Yeah, me too. What's the craziest, most outrageous thing you want to achieve?
Free energy for the world.
I thought so.
Yep. I want to see free energy for mankind. Just imagine, or let's say inexpensive in application. Imagine what we can do. Imagine how we can help the world. Tesla was there. Tesla was on the verge of giving the world free energy, but the international banker stood in his way.
Ah, okay, I can see that. If your life was a meal, what kind of meal would it be?
Uh, a well prepared fish.
Ah, okay. I like a bit of fish every now and then. If you could erase one past experience, what would it be?
Mm. Uh, what past experience? Let's just say it would be maybe in which a bad experience and I wasn't happy in school or I found a time unfavorable in a particular subject. I'd like to erase that because it did me well. I learned from that, but it's something that I had to move on from. So what am I getting at? Maybe a past experience that was unfavorable in school.
Yes, absolutely. How much time do you spend on the internet?
Well, with research on any given day, 3 to 4 hours a day, at least. And I love the internet because it's a source of information. But going back to my earlier comment, I want people to use the computer or television for for educational purposes or to uplift themselves. You know, I don't think playing video games hour after hour is really a wise expenditure of time. So I use the internet every day, 3 to 4 hours a day, and I actually use it also obviously for email communication. It's a necessary tool and it's a great tool, but I use it as a tool to enhance my life, to enhance the life of others.
Ah, yes, absolutely. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
Uh, how to motivate people? My that question's always been a burning desire that I've had. How do we go out there and motivate people? An impression upon people. That's what I've always wanted to know. How do you persuade people? How do you motivate people?
Yes, it's a it's a very good question, and hopefully someday we could all do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is all we have for this episode. It's great having you on, Tom, talking about secular energy and ways that people get free energy for life. And yeah, it's been great.
I'm going to ask you once again, thank you for your help today. I'm going to ask the audience visit my website if you want free sessions. The website is scalarlight.com. And your questions were inspiring and they're quite original. So thank you. It's been a great conversation.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
And until next time, stay tuned for more.